Hello students. In the previous video we discussed about the new concept of chemical bonding, that is the valence bond approach or the valence bond theory. Valence bond theory says that bond is formed when the two atoms approach each other and attractions are more than repulsions. Because of increase in attractive forces, the energy of the system decreases and it acquires stability. So that was valence bond theory. Today in this video we'll discuss the next approach to covalent bond formation, that is orbital overlap concept. Now what is the meaning of orbital overlap concept? When the two atoms approach each other, there is merger of their bonding orbitals. Okay, now what is the meaning of bonding orbitals? The orbitals which are taking part in the bond formation, and generally the orbitals belonging to the valence shell take part in the bond formation, and this is known as overlapping of atomic orbitals. Okay, so overlapping means merger or combination of bonding orbitals, okay, of the atoms taking part in the bond formation. Now what will happen because of this overlapping? Due to overlapping of atomic orbitals, the pairing of electrons will occur. Okay, so because of the overlapping of atomic orbitals, the electrons are paired. And one more important point is there regarding this theory. Greater is the extent of overlapping, stronger is the bond. Okay, so more is the overlapping, more stronger will be the bond formed. Now what is the meaning of overlapping? How the overlapping will occur? We have to discuss this by taking an example. So let's take the simplest example, and the simplest example is formation of hydrogen molecule. Now let's explain the formation of hydrogen molecule. So this is your first hydrogen atom. Okay, hydrogen atom means which orbital is there? 1s. This is the second hydrogen atom. Now which orbital is there? 1s. Now these two atoms will approach each other. Now this hydrogen is also having one electron, and this hydrogen is also having one electron. Okay, so this is the nucleus. So one electron is present here and one electron is present here, and these two orbitals are coming close to each other. Okay, now according to overlapping concept, what will happen? These two orbitals will overlap. There is partial overlapping like this. Okay, now these two electrons which were belonging to the individual atoms, they are now paired here. So here the pairing of electron is there. Okay, and this is the formation of hydrogen molecule. These are atomic orbitals. The electrons were present in atomic orbitals initially, but after the formation of molecule, the electrons are now present in the molecular orbital. Okay, so this is the formation of molecule, and the electron cloud here is known as molecular orbital. There is partial overlapping of atomic orbitals, and because of the partial overlapping, the electrons are paired. So this is all about the orbital overlap concept. So now we know that a covalent bond is formed because of the partial overlapping of atomic orbitals containing single electron or unpaired electron. Now let's see how many types of overlapping are there, because we have different types of orbitals. We have s orbital also, we have p orbital also, and p orbitals are also in different directions. And how many types of covalent bonds are there? So on the basis of overlapping, the covalent bonds are of two types. The first type of bond is known as sigma bond. A bond always remains same. A bond, covalent bond, is that which is formed by sharing of electron. Okay, we are classifying it on the basis of overlapping. So the first type of bond is known as sigma bond. Now, what is sigma bond? It is formed by end to end head-on overlapping of atomic orbitals along the internuclear axis. Okay, and always remember that this axis, this is z axis, we considered z axis as internuclear axis. Internuclear axis means the axis which passes through the nuclei of the bonded atoms, and this axis we consider as z. By conventionally we have chosen this as z axis in chemistry. Okay, so sigma bond is formed by end to end or head on overlap of atomic orbitals along the internuclear axis. This is also known as axial overlapping. Okay, so let's see how sigma bond is formed. So first type of overlapping here is SS overlapping. So the first type of overlapping which results in the formation of sigma bond is SS overlapping, and this we have seen in the formation of hydrogen molecule. So this is s orbital, this is another s orbital. Okay, now both these will overlap. Okay, this is S, and this type of overlapping is known as SS overlapping. Okay, and because of this overlapping, which type of bond is formed? Sigma bond. It means in hydrogen molecule, which type of bond is found? Sigma bond. Now the second type of overlapping which is responsible for sigma bond formation is sp overlapping. So this is s orbital. Now I told you that this axis we are choosing as z axis. So along with s orbital, which p orbital can overlap? So definitely it should be pz. Okay, so this is my pz orbital. Now both these will overlap like this. This is partial overlapping. So this type of overlapping is spz overlapping. And the best example of this type of overlapping is HF molecule. Hydrogen is having s orbital, fluorine is having one pz orbital. So this bond is also sigma bond. Now the third type of overlapping which is responsible for sigma bond formation is pp overlapping. Now which pp overlapping? I am choosing this axis as z axis. So definitely it should be pz and pz, because only pz and pz passes through internuclear, means pz and pz orbitals lie on the internuclear axis. Okay, so this is pz overlap, and the example is fluorine. Here also sigma bond is there. So sigma bond is formed by the axial overlapping, that is the overlapping along the internuclear axis. And which type of overlapping result in sigma bond formation? SS overlapping, spz and pz, because all these orbitals lie on the internuclear axis. The second type of bond is pi bond. Okay, now pi bond is formed by sidewise overlap. Okay, so important is sidewise overlap of atomic orbitals of the bonding atoms. Now what is the meaning of sidewise overlap? Perpendicular to the internuclear axis. Now if internuclear axis I am choosing as z axis. So which axis are perpendicular to this axis? Either x or y. So which type of overlapping will result in this pi bond formation? So only two cases are there, px and The second is py overlap. Okay, because if you take z-axis as internuclear axis, if this is your z-axis, definitely x and y are perpendicular to the z-axis. Okay, so px overlapping and py overlapping result in pi bond formation. Now suppose if this axis I am choosing as x-axis, so this is px overlap, it will be like this. So this is the internuclear axis, okay, perpendicular to the internuclear axis, you can see. Okay, now overlapping is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, so half overlapping is above the axis and half overlapping is below the axis. Likewise, it can be like this if this is your z-axis. So px and py overlap result in the formation of pi bond. Okay, now let's discuss, let's take some examples in order to understand the overlapping concept more clearly. The first example which I am taking is fluorine molecule. Okay, now fluorine means like this. Now atomic number of fluorine is 7. So sorry, atomic number of fluorine is 9. So the configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. This is the electronic configuration of fluorine. And likewise, this is the electronic configuration of fluorine. Now in the bond formation, according to overlapping concept, in the bond formation only the half filled orbitals take part. So this will also not take part, this will not take part. Now 2p5 is like this. Okay, this is 2px, this is 2py and this is 2pz. So according to the overlapping concept, which orbital will take part in the bond formation? Only 2pz. So 2pz of one fluorine will overlap with 2pz of second fluorine, like this. I am making all the p orbitals together. This is z, this is x, this is y. This is z, x and y. Okay, so this is first fluorine atom and this is second fluorine atom. Now 2pz is having one electron. These two are paired. Okay, so 2px and 2py are fully filled. Okay, but 2pz is having single electron. Now these two will overlap. Okay, now this 2pz will overlap with this 2pz. This is partial overlapping and this is the formation of sigma bond. Okay, so the bond which is formed by overlapping along the internuclear axis or z-axis is your sigma bond. This is how your bond forms according to overlapping concept. Only the orbitals which are half filled or singly filled, they participate in bond formation. Now second is oxygen molecule, that is O plus O. Oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Okay, 8 electrons in the valence shell. Now this will not take part, this will not take part. Now 2p4 means it is like this. Okay, it means in oxygen 2 orbitals are half filled. So these two can take part in bonding. So let's make the orbital diagram. I am making all the p orbitals together. This is the first oxygen atom. Now remember one thing, we are choosing this axis as z-axis. Okay, this is the z-axis which we are choosing. Now rest is your choice. You can take this as x-axis or y-axis, or this as x-axis or y-axis. Okay, now out of these two half-filled orbitals, now oxygen is having two half-filled orbitals. So definitely one is pz. Okay, now one can be px. Now okay, so this is the 2p4 configuration. The two orbitals are having single electrons and the one orbital is having filled electrons. Now overlapping will be between this and this and this and this. Now let's see how the overlapping occurs. Now this is the first overlapping. Okay, this is PZ overlapping. It is having single electron, it is having single electron. Now these two will overlap. Now this overlapping will be perpendicular, okay, because it is present perpendicular to the z-axis. So this overlapping will be shown by dotted line like this. And since the overlapping is perpendicular to the axis, this is pi overlapping. So this is sigma bond formation and this is pi bond formation. Now the last orbital, which is fully filled, will not take part in bonding. So in oxygen molecule, there are double bonds, one sigma and second pi. So whenever single bond is present, that bond is always sigma. But whenever double bond is there, one is always sigma and another is pi. Pi overlapping is shown by dotted line because it is not possible for us to bring these two orbitals together. So it is shown by dotted line. Now the last example we'll take as nitrogen molecule. Now nitrogen plus nitrogen, nitrogen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Okay, now 2p3 means all the orbitals are half filled. So all the three will take part in bonding. Now let's see. This is first, this is second and this is third. This is Z. I am taking this as X, this is Y. This is the first nitrogen atom. Z. Okay. Now in all the three p orbitals, single electron is there. Now you can see how many types of overlapping will be there. 3. PZ, PX and PY. Now there is a rule in overlapping that orbitals of the same symmetry or same axis can overlap. S can overlap with S. Okay, important thing is S can overlap with S because both lie on the Z axis. S orbital can overlap with PZ because PZ also lies on Z axis. PZ can overlap with PZ. PX can overlap with PX and PY can overlap with PY. These are the rules for overlapping. Okay, so these are allowed. But suppose if I say S can overlap with PX, no, because their axes are different. S cannot overlap with PY. PX cannot overlap with PY. Likewise, PZ cannot overlap with PX or PZ cannot overlap with PY. So these are not allowed. So only the orbitals which belong to the particular axis can overlap. Okay, so these types of overlapping are allowed and these overlappings are not at all allowed. So let's see the overlapping diagram. So this is the first overlapping, PZ. Now how to show the remaining two overlapping? So I cannot show the overlapping. So it is shown by, I told you earlier, dotted line. So this is PX overlap. Okay, now this is the third overlapping. Okay, so how many types of overlapping are there? 3. So in nitrogen, 3 bonds are there. The first one is sigma. The central one is sigma. This is pi and this is also pi. Okay, so remember, always remember, whenever single bond is there, it is sigma. Double bond means 1 sigma and 1 pi. And if triple bond is there, it is 1 sigma and 2 pi. Okay, this is how we can calculate the number of sigma and pi bonds. There is no difference between sigma and pi bond as far as electrons are there. Okay, sigma bond also has 2 electrons, pi bond also has 2 electrons. The difference lies only in the way of overlapping. In sigma overlapping, the overlapping is end to end. Okay, along the z-axis. And in pi bond, the overlapping is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, that is sidewise. So now we have seen that on the basis of overlapping, there are 2 types of covalent bonds, sigma and pi bond. So let's compare the 2 types of bonds. that what are the differences between the two types of bonds. The first difference is it is formed by end-to-end overlap of atomic orbitals. End-to-end overlap means overlapping along the internuclear axis. Now along the internuclear axis means now which orbitals are there on the internuclear axis? So SS, SPZ and PZ, PZ. Clear? And this type of bond is formed by sidewise overlap. So sidewise overlap means which orbitals will take part? Px, Px and Py, Py. Okay. Overlapping is large, so this bond is strong. Now I told you that greater is the extent of overlapping, stronger is the bond formed. Now in sigma bond, the overlapping is intact, end to end. No breaking is there. It is continuous overlapping. So it is a stronger bond. But in pi bond formation, we have seen that the overlapping breaks because pi overlapping is like this. Okay, now half overlapping is here and half overlapping is here. There is breaking in the overlapping. Okay, so the overlapping is less. It is not intact. It is not continuous. So this bond is weak. So whenever we want to break the bond, first pi bond breaks and then sigma. It can be found alone. Okay, I told you that whenever a single bond is formed, that is always sigma. So when two elements form bonds, first sigma bond forms. And if some electrons are still unpaired, then pi bond forms. Okay, so sigma bond can be found alone, but pi bond cannot be found alone. It is always found with sigma bond. Okay, it's not like this that first pi bond will be formed and then sigma. So when the two atoms are combining, first there will be formation of sigma bond, and still if some electrons are left unpaired, then there will be the formation of pi bond. And last is free rotation is possible because sigma overlapping is like this. Okay, you can hold one atom and you can rotate the second atom. Okay, but pi overlapping is like this. Okay, if you hold one atom and rotate the second one, what will happen? The pi overlapping will break. So these are some important differences between sigma and pi bond. So this is all about your orbital overlap concept. Now there are some limitations of this concept. Okay, suppose if all the electrons are paired in a particular atom, according to this concept, that atom will not take part in bond formation. Okay, but still there are some examples. For example, beryllium. Beryllium is 1s2, 2s2. Now all the electrons are paired. So according to this concept, beryllium should not make any compound, but beryllium makes BeF2, BeCl2 like this. So there are some limitations of this orbital overlap concept, and that limitation was overcome by the next concept, that is hybridization.